right into picks and bans for game number 1. Jin Green Wings versus CJ Entus and the LeBlanc ban coming off right off the bat from Jin. And there's that Lysandre ban against Jin as well, too. A strong pickup for that team, and really anybody right now.
Well, anybody, but I think that's more of a priority for CJ to ban because Shy's Lysandre has not been very good, and GBM's has been quite excellent. There is the Mundo ban coming in once again.
Okay, LeBlanc and Mundo so far.
Yeah, no real surprises so far. CJ will, actually CJ will ban out the Lulu. Don't want that being first picked and put into GBM's hands, where we've seen him 20 stack of Soul Stealer on that champion so far in this season.
And Kassadin banned out against Coco as well. All right. Coco did have some success against Samsung with that pickup. Always has been a strong Kassadin player. And Jin just not wanting to deal with it today.
Yeah.
What's that final ban going to be? Rek'Sai. Okay, so the Gnar is available. And
the Gnar looks like they will think about first picking that one. I think you should let CJ have a crack at the Gnar and see if they can play it, because Shy may not be very good on that champion. They really haven't been prioritizing it. You could take the Janna right there.
Well, I agree. I mean, I kind of like throwing down the Gnar gauntlet, being like, all right, have you been practicing? Can you play it? Picking up Jarvan and Corki, so they do get the Corki. They do keep the Jarvan away from the Gnar synergy. GBM, you know, if there's anyone that I would actually feel kind of comfortable first picking Xerath, it's gonna be GBM.
Yeah, GBM has had success with that. Coco can play some pretty safe ranged ADs against this Xerath and turn it into a bit of a farm lane. However, his Ezreal, his Jace have been quite good so far this season, and so he's got a lot of tools to deal with it. May want to try an Ahri counter pick as well. And there's the Janna with the Xerath. Looks like they will be trying to help out with that peel.
That's good to keep that Janna-Corki duo broken up as well, too. GBM could just be trolling us, though.
Taking a long time to lock in right there, so it looks like they're still deciding as to whether they want to go with the blind pick Xerath.
There they will. Ooh, in space, maybe grabbing that Kalista right off the bat. And Blitzcrank, are we going full CLG here? Is that what's happening?
It'll be great to see Mad Life's Blitzcrank again if it's still the same caliber as it used to be.
Well, if they are, I wonder if that means they're going to go with that Hurricane build that has been so popular in NA lately.
I think the Ezreal is going to be the choice here, and that way they can flex it. It actually wouldn't surprise me. Well, we'll see. Maokai hovered over right now. They may just want Shy on a very tanky frontliner.
Would have been. I would have loved to see the Kalista pick up with the Corki mid. But oh well. No such luck. Ooh. Hey, DJ Sona's not out yet. You can't pick that champion.
I think Nami, the safe choice right here. Go ahead and provide some more disengage. You have enough engage already with Maokai and Jarvan.
All right. So what's the bot lane for Jin going to be? Some support Vel'Koz? Doubtful.
So it looks like they may want the bully lane. Captain Jack with the Sivir wanting to play the 2v2 versus Shy. Of course, Trace will be able to harass this Maokai due to the melee range of Shy's champion.
Oh, you know, Morgana's still available. We haven't even mentioned that yet. Doesn't look like we'll see it in mid or top this game, but still a decent support pickup.
Yeah, Captain Jack now the one hovering over the Kalista. They do have some pretty decent peel, especially if they take the Lee Sin. This could be a good grab.
Well, lately people have been loving to throw Jannas into the other teams, so why not?
I think that was GE styling a little bit.
There we go.
There we go. Kalista
comes
into play for Captain Jack. Now, the Korean Kalista players, all of them so far have built IE into Static Shiv, which I think is the safer build because you're less reliant on getting many auto attacks into the opponents to do damage like you are with the Hurricane. You really have to land a lot of spears in order to make that worthwhile. Yes, you can do more damage, but it's a lot less safe. Meanwhile, if you're just focusing on one target, you can hit him once, and per attack you get a little bit more bang for your buck.
Sometimes
as opposed to being, as opposed to being so dependent on getting a bunch of Ren stacks up.
Yep. Now the Jace not taken away from CJ as well. And are we going to see Coco pick that one up?
Yeah, CJ really not going too far away from what we've seen in the past. They are going to be running a pretty specific poke power spike comp with Corki and Jace.
Makes
But
sense.
Coco has been fantastic on Jace so far this season. GE not even letting him have it, taking it out during the ban phase. Of course, there's good poke on the other side of things as well. But this Kalista may need some good wave clear because otherwise Jinair's not going to have much.
I mean, they've got the Xerath for wave clear, I suppose, later in the game. But I think the big question for this match is how good is Captain Jack's Kalista?
Yeah, and especially because they had the chance to take that Sivir away right there. And the thing about Kalista is that, yes, she has all that high mobility, but if you do not build Hurricane, she's actually one of the worst AD carries at wave clear in the game. She's like Vayne level horrible at actually managing minion waves. Meanwhile, there's going to be a lot of pressure coming in the mid game with Coco in space, and when it comes late and Shy and Ambition are able to dive the turret, Coco can chunk people out, and then Shy and Ambition can go in and finish up those kills with a nice tower dive. So Jinair playing like we've seen them play before. There's that Gnar, and they're going to be prioritizing that Xerath. But GBM has been remarkable at staying alive in the back line.
Never seemingly missing those Xerath ults as well, too. We told him we thought he was the best Xerath in Korea, and he was like, yeah, I agree. That pretty much says it all. I mean, GBM, nothing but confidence with this champion. And he can back it up like not a lot of other mid laners can. It's time, guys. Jinair versus CJ, game number 1. Let's get in the game. All right, here we go, guys. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Jinair, Green Wings versus CJ Entus. There is GBM Xerath. Exciting stuff. I love it.
All right,
And
this is interesting.
Do you think they're going to lane swap?
Well, Che, usually we wouldn't see a support walk into top lane like this for a ward, but they're pinging down to get a ward in second brush. They want to see what this lane situation is going to be like.
Yep.
And then make their decision accordingly. I assume Jinair wants a bit of a lane swap right here.
That's Shay not knowing if anyone is in that other brush, so he has to play it a bit safe.
Well, no, this is going to be a game that's really all about landing skill shots. We've got two comps that are very interested on poking each other out.
Yep.
And if everything is even, GBM is going to have an easier time than he does most of the time by blind picking Xerath. Yes, there's Mad Life Nami to hit him in the back line, but with the amount of peel he has from Janna and Lee Sin, as soon as Shy and Ambition go in, they're going to be knocked back, and they're not going to have another shot at that engage. So GBM may have some of his easiest Xerath positioning in this game as long as Che and Chaser use their ultimates properly.
That's a good setup.
That's scary, very scary.
It is. I mean, Kalista, I feel like, is tending to be a champion that's a little bit vulnerable to diving as well, too. And so when you have that Janna able to create that separation, you can hop around, leaping in joy and throwing spears into people.
Well, the other thing, though, is that Jack's mobility makes landing shock blasts, and okay, a little bit of cheese there getting poked out. Not the worst thing in the world. Would have been much worse if Space had gotten hit.
Well, they do get a biscuit out of Mad Life. That's not something that's too bad at all right off the bat.
And Trace getting into the bottom lane immediately, forcing that teleport early. So early teleport advantage for Trace right here. Let's see if we can do something with it.
Well, this really is, oh man, just across the board. What a cool amount of lane matchups. I'm really excited about this. Trace versus Shy, GBM versus Coco, and the duo, of course. Now, Nami Corki can be a lane with a lot of poke. But
yeah, not so much pre-6, though. And Jack shouldn't have too hard of a time avoiding phosphorus bombs just with his passive.
Yeah, definitely.
See right there, walking up right at the level 2, Jack threatening Mad Life in space a little bit. And trying to deny some farm right there as best they can. Looks like not going to be too much. Meanwhile, ooh, look at that. Coco going in and putting a ward in it blue already. So they're very concerned with movement on the map. From Chaser, he will see him taking that blue buff, so no surprise win right there. We see 2/3 win rates for both Coco's Jace and GBM Xerath on the board.
Yeah, slightly higher stats for Coco's Jace. But after seeing GBM Xerath, I feel like that doesn't matter a whole lot.
And the game GBM lost on Xerath too, it really wasn't his fault, I want to say.
Was that the freak inhibitor respawn game? I'm trying to remember now.
No, it was a game where he got a very large early advantage on Xerath, but he couldn't find quite enough peel in the late game.
That does happen.
So, let's see here. Chaser checking things out. Captain Jack already has a Sentinel. Wandering the river for possible ganks as they push up. Chaser will go ahead and take that Rift Scuttler. He's offering a lot of vision, so it looks like Jin wants to play with some pressure up on the top side. And, you know, this is typical Jin right here. Side lanes pressing forward, trying to chip the towers as best they can early on. And Chaser setting up some defensive wards to help out in that endeavor. Jin very good at getting early turrets.
Well, it's certainly doing a good job of keeping Gank by Mom safe, too. He really doesn't really have to worry about any plays in the mid. Uh-oh, Mad Life may be in a bit of trouble here. That's a lot of damage. Space really poked out as well, too. They were very close to having to use one of those summoners. Che popped his Ignite. Nami, shut up and go home. At least she went back to base.
And now the wave is pushing out the other direction. Jin will have some control as Space can't see us.
Yeah.
Che and Jack playing this lane really well so far. Very dominant, and we just haven't seen Ambition try and make a play on the top side, although it would be difficult. Chaser gets rid of a pink ward right in the river. Ambition will have his Raptor buff triggered as well right there. Chaser just playing with crabs.
True. Oh, getting knocked up by Ambition. Chaser may be in a bit of trouble here. Can he get away? Yes, he can.
Ambition's really not in a place with Jarvan to duel with Elise in this early on. So he took the free hits because he knew that some cooldowns from Lee were down, but beyond that, it would be a bit difficult to tangle. Plus, especially since Gnar was pushed up in the bottom side, Trace could join him pretty darn quickly. And here we go, teleport in from Trace.
Yep, just getting back to that bot lane, and that's going to give Shy a bit of a teleport advantage after his summoner comes back up again. Ambition moving up to the top lane, but double Sentinels, you're not going to be avoiding those. Yep, getting a little bit of gold.
So many Sentinels. You got another one right there, too, that just found out Coco. Man. GBM taking a little bit of a blast from the side. GBM starting with cloth armor.
I thought there were a lot of Sentinels in that third Matrix movie, but I hadn't seen the top lane for Jin. Wow.
And interestingly, Trace is going for full tank this game. Actually starting out his build with a Giant's Belt.
All right.
A little bit surprised that there's not going to be any harassment coming in from a Hex Drinker.
Well, there'll be a little harassment when he finishes the Sunfire cape, at least, probably. We'll see.
If he even goes for the Sunfire. Well, yeah. I mean, he's definitely going, well, I can't say definitely. We'll see what he does.
We'll see if Dostradamus has predicted the item path. That's the question.
The thing is that Coco, you know, is relatively immobile. So if you can get on top of him with a Randuin's, it can be very effective.
Good point. Yeah.
Help with some follow-up. And also, the more you slow down the backline's movement, the easier it is for GBM to hit them with his ult.
True.
So Randuin's is a very good item when you have a Xerath on your team. You can simplify things for your mid laner.
See, I feel like with the Kalista versus Nami, it's kind of like Moby Dick. You know, Captain Jack is Ahab with the spear, and Mad Life is kind of like the great white whale.
Could be with Rumble too, the Electro Harpoons.
Oh, it's true, yeah. You don't see a lot of Rumble versus Nami though, I suppose.
Oh, you're doing lane swap stuff.
A little bit.
We live in the land of lane swaps these days. It's a beautiful place that I love.
You love the land of lane swaps?
I do. Lane swaps are one of the most fascinating aspects of League of Legends.
Seems like everybody loves those except for Samsung these days. They do not love the lane swap.
And viewers, because
they
are woefully uneducated about the beauty of lane swaps.
A bit confusing.
But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, guys. Don't worry.
I'm glad you're here.
I will teach you. I will. When I get excited about the lane swap, I will tell you why you should be excited too.
And I will try to get excited when you tell me. I'll give it my best shot. Wow, Space getting poked pretty hard. Jay backing away from that Gatling gun. Corki just wasting bullets again. Did you know that the League of Legends spends like billions on bullets for Corky's Gatling gun every year.
It's so wasteful this quarter.
Oh,
Okay.
there's the Cataclysm forcing that flash out of GBM. Chaser's there, but Summoner taken.
Yep, and of course that'll be a lot longer cooldown than the Cataclysm, so there is a chance for round 2 on that. Very dangerous to have this Xerath, of course. Jarvan is jungling.
Oh boy.
On the other side, Space taking a bit of damage right there. They get the exhaust out. Bubble will miss.
Yeah, if that Whirlwind had connected, that exhaust would have been very, very necessary to keep Space alive.
Here we go.
Oh,
Chuck at the Janna.
Ah, they got the flash out of Space. Playing Janna ball.
I like how it's so hilarious when you throw Janna because of her range that she like hits them and then immediately like teleports backward.
Yeah. She's got that range, man. It's like kind of what happens when you throw Annie in too. She goes way back after she hits. But still in range to land that Tibbers.
Well, so nice little attempt there. And Jinair will just go ahead and push this forward. See Captain Jack already jumping out to nice CS lead.
Yeah,
and
really nice.
So is Coco actually up against GBM. GBM having a bit of trouble actually going into double Doran's arm guard.
Wow.
Very interesting. A lot of backing right now. Trace will be actually going for a Warmogs first.
Oh, and Captain Jack picks up the Hurricane right on his first back. Look at that.
Okay, so Hurricane's all in one go right there, pre-10 minutes. And this is where Kalista will be able to apply a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Now, I really like this because basically CJ is trying to hit a siege power spike with Jason Corky, and you just wouldn't have the wave clear even if you went static shiv first on this Kalista. This is going to help them out immensely as they try and weather the storm and play for that late game where we really will see this Xerath and this Kalista start to do an immense amount of damage.
Very cool. Oh, Trace got that blue buff. Whoops.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
That's actually really bad considering GBM is already behind in terms of his creep score. GBM's
like, come on, have the actual jungler help me next time, Trace, please.
And blue buff really not going to be useful in that Gnar.
Yeah, when Coco spots this, I think we're going to see that lane pushed even harder. Already looking pretty rough for GBM.
Yeah,
Power slam.
Trace with the Warmogs as well. This makes sense, of course, with a lot of mixed damage coming in from CJ Entus. Doesn't want to commit to either armor or magic resist quite yet, and so will hedge his bets. And while he won't be as resistant to a single type of damage, he'll be doing a lot better in terms of team fighting. GBM having to play so scared right now. Trace trying to make a roam. They will get the Rift Scuttler, and Jinair continuing to push forward.
Yeah, they've got that Hurricane now. They can put a lot of pressure on this bottom turret, and this is really good because if they can just keep this bottom lane pushed up, if GBM could get, well, any sort of semblance of pressure on the mid lane, maybe they could set up a dragon or something. And when you think about it that way, I suppose that makes it even worse that that blue buff didn't go to GBM.
Yeah, this is... I mean, GBM is still holding his own, and he will have that strong late game regardless.
Oh, yeah.
You can see him playing it pretty passive right now. Of course, he knew that this Jace was likely coming in from Coco or the Ezreal, one or the other. See right there, the Ren really making short work of those minions.
And he's going to go ahead and get that Zhonya's Hourglass first as well, too. So really playing it safe compared to some of his other Xerath builds that we've seen.
We'll see if he actually completes this.
You think it's just an early arm guard for the laning phase?
You can farm it up and you'll get enough armor right now. And I just don't think there's enough threat on him to justify an early Hourglass. I would say, you know, all right, go for the Morellonomicon or a Death Cap and see what you can do. Ambition will get seen by one of those stupid floating heads.
Yeah. He's like, just go ahead and watch. I'm going to kill your ward.
I like how the floating heads, the Sentinels just sort of stand there and scream at you.
I know. They're like, hey, stop it. Shut up, Nami.
Not actually that threatening, though, when you get down to it.
Nobody listening. It's a little bit disturbing, you know what I mean, if you have like a floating head that suddenly starts screaming at you, but then you're like, well, that's all it's doing, you know? It's not
there's
really
no follow-up.
It's kind of like the League version of Slimer from Ghostbusters, only it doesn't even slime you, you know?
It's true.
A little bit.
You don't even get dirty as a result.
It's true. They should make like
just annoying. You just smack it around a couple of times, give it a couple slaps.
Should make a Ghostbuster Callista skin. Throws in Slimers, something like that. Yep. which uses Rend. It just like pulls everything into like a trap, you know?
Can't cross the streams, though. The stream that's going from you to your support.
So you're saying no Randuin's builds on that skin. A little bit of poke onto space there. If someone asks you if you're a faker, say yes.
Well, pretty typical Jin Air game here. They're the ones controlling the tempo of this game. They're the ones.
Yeah. Ooh. Captain Jack needs to be a little bit careful there. If he would have been put in the Aqua Prison, he would have taken some damage. And here we go, Dragon for Jin Air.
What's GBM doing right now? Looks like he's farming out wolves. This is a bit risky.
Huh, yeah. I mean, it's just stealthy. It's just a sneaky Dragon, and it looks like Jin Air's going to get away with it. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Space and Mad Life knew that it was being done, but they really couldn't react to it due to the pressure from the wave and the Sentinel keeping an eye on things. Captain Jack has actually been using Sentinels better than any Kalista player I've seen so far. Really being active about how he uses them to control where he's going to be in the lane, as well as to make sure they can take some of these objectives safely.
Makes sense. I mean, Captain Jack is kind of like the king of safety, so he's going to be making the best use of those Sentinels. I like it.
Coco still increasing his CS lead here in the mid lane, now up 30, has gotten another 10 since we last checked in that lane, so dominance continuing so far, and GBM with those mana issues because he did decide to go for the arm guard first instead of getting a traditional mana regen item. This actually has slowed him down pretty significantly.
Yep.
And Shy, despite having the pressure on him, still.
Oh, GBM could be in trouble. There we go, another Cataclysm. GBM tries, well, he does flash out. So again, they just kind of burned that summoner. Another good trade. Ults for a flash.
And Chaser just hasn't been there to counter gank. He was in the vicinity both times, but couldn't make it work.
Oh, Mad Life could be in a lot of trouble here. Can he keep healed? He barely stays alive. There's a tidal wave for the disengagement. It doesn't look like the ignite from Che is enough.
Chaser
coming down.
In.
He went through a ward,
though. He can still make a play here, even though they don't know where Ambition is. Blue buff will be stolen.
Yep.
Coco taking that away, so GBM really having a hard time this game.
Looks like they may be able to get this bot lane turret, though.
They will. And Jin Air, first tower of the game, keeping that pressure on. They're going to keep walking into Tier 2. Coco dealing what damage he can to the mid lane. GBM now returning.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't use the Kalista ult there to secure the first blood on Mad Life. They're going to be trading turrets here.
Would have been pretty risky.
Oh, come on. Che's not afraid to get thrown under turret. I'd do it. I'd be like, throw me. It's like Gimli the dwarf, man. Sometimes you just got to toss him.
Got to toss the
right.
the Janna in right there. Trace getting a bunch of damage now down onto the top side. Could be 2 towers up for Jin Air when all is said and done.
Yep.
There we go. Looks like it will be 2 towers for 1.
Not bad.
In favor of the Green Wings.
Yeah.
GBM still just farming out those wolves. You can see how reluctant he is to walk into the mid lane when Ambition's Cataclysm about to come back up, and with Xerath without a flash.
Certainly need to be careful. And he did pick up that needlessly large rod as well, too, so it looks like he does want to finish that Zhonya's. Maybe just the difficulty he's had in the mid lane making him feel a little bit more afraid this game.
I'm just surprised because well, we'll see if he actually finishes it or if he goes into death cap. Just because Ambition, his Cataclysm, sure it's there, but when Che comes with him, he'll knock everybody out of the Cataclysm anyway.
True.
And then he's got the cleanse for any twisted advances coming in from Maokai. So he seems to already have the tools to be able to deal with this, and perhaps a bit of raw AP would be better.
Do you feel like he's kind of putting himself in a bit of a corner as far as mana regeneration goes as well, too, kind of avoiding those items?
Yeah, it's been a bit rough. Of course, he did double down on the Doran's rings, but it looks like he was taking a significant amount of harassment. I mean, Coco is a very good Jace player, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Makes sense.
If he felt a little bit threatened in the lane and kept getting chunked out, so he needed a little bit more protection in the early game. Dragon River going to be cleared out right now.
Yeah. It's funny, we usually don't see so much action around the dragon side of the river when there's no dragon. Teams are singing ahead. Shy in that top lane now has quietly kept up on CS with Trace this game.
Ooh, look at that. Really early Thornmail from Trace.
Yeah. Well, there is a good amount of AD on that team. And
yeah, I'm just surprised we almost never see a Thornmail that early. It'll be interesting to see if he can actually get on top of Coco and force Coco to auto him in hammer stance or something like that.
Yeah. Shut up, Navi.
When will they learn not to play that skin, though?
You aren't seducing anyone. Not a very good siren.
You know what's also interesting here is that Captain Jack and Che did such a good job in the lane. Typically we see the Kallistas, they'll build Vamp Scepter just for some early sustain, but he actually bypassed the Vamp Scepter entirely.
Well, actually, what was funny is he bought the Vamp Scepter, and then he was like, oh, wait, I have enough for Hurricane, so he just redid it or whatever, and then got the Hurricane.
Yeah, that's very confident from Jack, and pretty surprising that Space and Mad Life couldn't do anything, even with the greater sustain early on against this Ballista, to make that change.
Shy just ulting to keep the lane pressure up, and Meganar will be able to defend this minion wave quite easily. GBM getting some time to farm, but look at that, still 50 CS behind Coco. Coco has really, really dominated this laning phase.
And the Zonias will be completed, so GBM playing the most safe route possible, and that really has been Jin Air this season. If there's one thing we could talk about them as a team, it's that they are extremely patient. They pretty much never overcommit for kills. They will wait as long as necessary for you to make a mistake and then capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And they have just been pretty airtight in terms of their strategies and poke composition so far. They had that one slip up versus Incredible Miracle, but otherwise.
Oh, there's a stun on New Ambition. Can they get him knock up as well? GBM not electing to use that ult there. Mad Life too close. Probably a good idea. I doubt he would have been able to finish off Ambition. But maybe it would have been worth it to poke him out right before that dragon. I don't know.
Oh, they do have a little bit of sustain right there.
Yeah.
Coming in from the Nami. Gnar headed back up into the top side.
Oh boy.
Does have Ninja Tabby right now. Trace doing very well despite all the magic damage coming in from the Maokai. Trace is looking for an angle. Here we go.
There's a teleport coming in from Trace. The dragon at about half health. Shock Blast comes through, does a bit of damage. Space trying to poke as well with those rockets.
Really hard for Jin Air. Trace is in the back of the pit right now.
Soloing the dragon.
Okay.
This is a bit risky. Wow, this is crazy. Can they burst it? They do get it. Jin Air secures the dragon. Ambition goes over the wall. There's the kill. First blood goes to Coco. And look at that. GBM with one kill already. Che keeping people alive. Shy trying to get into the back lines. Trace really making his presence felt in that dragon pit.
Wow, Trace actually managed to get up enough fury just by attacking the dragon, and he's got so many defensive stats already. Didn't really hurt him, but man, GBM's patience on that Zerathol, waiting for the Gnar to come in the back of the pit. And they got the dragon in the end, so that's number 2 for Jin Air, and trading their jungler for a jungler, not bad at all for the Green Wings.
It looked dangerous, but then it's like, oh no, we've got this totally under control.
Let's take a look at this again. Yeah, it looked like they were in a bad position. Chaser comes over, they're able to burst it. Ambition comes into the side, kicks him out of the Cataclysm, a lot of CC going up. But there we go,
Nice
Trace
Gnar.
repositions with the Gnar, and then big time ult from Xerath. GBM managing to hit multiple people with each of those shots.
Well, Shy just not getting to be part of that fight, too. He had to walk all the way around into the opposing jungle, and by the time he got there, it was over.
Jin Air very good at thinking on their feet in those situations. It really did look pretty bad there for a moment for Jin Air, but CJ, I think, a bit surprised to see that Gnar right in the back of the pit. And Chaser able to follow up on Trace's engage, secure the objective, and feed his team a kill while sacrificing himself.
Yeah, gold's still even right now, but those dragon stats from the 2 buffs are going to start to benefit Jin Air more and more as the game goes on. We're into that mid-game, so we'll see how much pressure Jin Air can put on the map now. They take that mid lane turret.
I'm a bit surprised by Space itemizing into the Blade of the Ruin King, but he does need, I suppose, a little bit of health steal with this early Thornmail onto Trace.
It does make sense, yeah.
So he doesn't get himself quite low and then get sniped out by the Xerath ult. But the early Thornmail, really not something, like, again, that we see very often, but the thing about it is that if Space or Coco get chunked out just by autoing this Gnar early on, that does leave them very vulnerable to the ult coming in from GBM in the back line. It's all about chunking down Jace and Corki right now just so GBM can.
They're going in. Here we go. Ambition gets kicked back. Activates as Cataclysm. Gets knocked up by the tidal wave, though, and Ambition's still going to go down. Whoa, Chaser gets out of that one. Che pops the ult. Not enough incoming damage from CJ for a return kill. Yeah, really taking advantage of Ambition's engage there.
Yeah, a little bit mistimed. Of course, Coco wasn't quite there.
Yep.
And Mad Life had a bit of an early tidal wave. Good hold from Che on the Monsoon just to disengage after they take care of Ambition for overextending.
Yep.
GBM continuing to play it very cool in the mid lane. Yes, he's down significantly in terms of farm, but he's also not giving Coco any advantages right now.
Yeah, he's still progressing. I mean, he's still getting items, so it is all about those later stages of the game, and GBM doesn't look like he's really going to be hurting all that much at that point. Here we go. Nice rotation to the mid lane, and Jin Air should take a pretty easy mid turret. Oh, yeah.
Really nicely done. Trace has just dominated the control over the minion wave compared to Shy. He's opened up a lot of opportunities so far for his team, helped get that first tower, and Shy just doesn't have that side wave control, so they can't respond to the rotation to 5-man that mid turret. Just nice map movement from Jin Air. You can see, again, it's just all about Jin Air's ability to control tempo. That is their big strength right now as a team, is that cross-map control.
Oh, Captain Jack picking up that Bloodthirster, contributing to that as well, too. Just a lot of pushing power and safety.
Yeah, that's why I really like this build because of the way that Jin Air plays. And he will be going into Last Whisper next after finishing the Bloodthirster. Very safe build so far.
Yep.
That we've seen played multiple times now last week in North America.
Makes sense. First time we've seen it in Korea, though, but it seems to be working so far. Coco's going to grab his blue buff. And a little bit more vision control from Jin Air. Nah, don't go in.
Probably not the best choice right now.
Yeah.
Jack needs to shove out this wave. Coco is lurking in the brush. You can tell CJ starting to get pretty desperate for their first dragon in this game.
Yeah, that one. Dragon number 3 is up in about 50 seconds now, and we'll see if Jin Air can grab that one too. Oh, nice poke onto Ambition. And if you're going to get some poke with the Xerath, now is the time you need to do it. Oh, Chaser with the flash Q, going for the execute. Oh, GBM trying for the ult. Barely can't quite get Ambition.
Wow,
teleport
they got
for
the
Shy,
teleport, though. Now TP
Dude.
advantage for Trace.
Yeah.
So, nice attempts, but Ambition will have to go back. Still has enough time, though, before this dragon spawns, so that may not have been the best use.
Well, as long as Shy sticks around, too, he won't be hurt by that teleport not being available.
Well, but there's pressure on the tier 2 right now, and CJ is going to have a hard choice. Trace is going to recall right here. He's getting closer to that Randuin's Omen.
Shay with not a lot of health at the moment. He's going to need to be a bit more on the careful side. And here we go. It's dragon time.
Here we go. Nard teleport in, so they will be looking for a flank right here.
Looks that way.
GBM trying to get some Qs down, and Trace just starting to harass his way up to a full rage bar.
Oh,
Shy's going to go in.
Yep, that's right. Trace looking pretty tanky already, though. Captain Jack throwing some damage in Ambition. Oh, there we go. Ambition gets the dragon for CJ. They jump in. Gnar nearly tries to do something with Chaser. Gets taken out anyway, and that was a win for CJ.
Yeah, nicely done. Keeping Gnar out of there. Chaser tries to be the hero, but can't quite get it done. CJ now transitioning up into the river. Are they actually going to try and go for a Baron right here? Whoa! Big surprise. Chaser's dead, but man, they may just get it. They have a lot of damage. This is in a big power spike for them with Corki and Jace.
Oh, they may get it, but will they get out? That's the question. Baron's so low, it looks like CJ will get it, but now the fight. Trace coming in. There's a nice knock-up. Trace trying to get in the back lines. GBM backing away. Shy being a great player as far as the zoning going in this fight.
GBM's ult is up, however.
Away. Trace gets really low.
Everybody's very low. Coco with the snipe.
Wow. And GBM not using that ult. I feel like he could have tried for Coco and Mad Life there, but CJ just suddenly taking control of this game.
Wow, so CJ, bold play, but they knew that they were strong right then after Chaser had gone down. And nice zoning there from Shy, not taking too much damage. Chaser decides to follow that Q in.
That's a good try.
Yeah, mistake there from Chaser. They did force out the Cataclysm though, which made CJ's decision to do this Baron even more, I think, nearly reckless. Now, there wasn't any vision control up, and they do have a lot of damage at this point in the game. So here they are going in on it, and looks like just a little bit of reluctance there from Jinair. Trace also
Trace
with
just
0 Fury.
I was going to say, he just hasn't been able to quite sync the Mega Nars up for these last 2 fights now.
Yeah, Che.
Look at Shy zoning, too.
And yeah, Trace does flash and get out. Little bit more poke around the side, but landing that hit onto Che, predicting after seeing Che on that ward.
Yeah. And I got to ask again, you know, why no ult from GBM? I'm a little bit surprised. They may lose this tier 2 here. That Baron-powered cannon minion is really annoying to deal with.
And GBM trying to poke out Coco right here and hold on to the tower just with the Janna shields. Little bit of poke from the Xerath Q. Coco being very dangerous. He has been farming up a storm so far this game. Trace just trying to harass on the top side of the turret with the boomerang, but looks like they're going to have to give it up.
The poke from Coco in space is just getting way too strong right now. Both Captain Jack and GBM are pretty chunked out there. And CJ's not done yet. They're going to try to push this Baron buff as far as they can. Looks like they may rotate to the mid lane after clearing out some of the enemy jungle.
Yeah, they're not going to be strong enough to really push onto an inhibitor turret at this stage. Instead, just back off and try and take the low-hanging fruit in the mid lane. So, just be clearing this out.
Oh, Trace, he may be in a bit of trouble here. There's a Mega Gnar. Can he come back in? Space coming over the wall with the Valkyrie.
Catching him right in the Aqua Prison
Yep.
during the transformation, preventing any kind of follow-up attack into the wall. But Jinair doing a nice job of defending. This game has been really good so far.
Yeah, really back and forth. CJ, though, with the big edge right now. That Baron buff still has some time left on it.
And almost all of that gold difference is actually between GBM and Coco.
Yeah.
So, shows how much those little things like the blue buffs can mean in the early game.
And unfortunately for GBM, that is true. About a 60 CS lead now for Coco. Jinair, I suppose, still does have more dragons, so they may be able to put a bit more dragon pressure on at least. But I don't know. I think this next fight is going to be very important for both of these two teams.
And I'm curious where it's going to happen, if they're going to wait for the dragon to come up right here.
I think it's going to be
Jinair has some leeway to give this one up. It would tie the dragons up depending on what they want to do, but with Shy pressing forward, I mean, Trace really needs that Randuin's so he can make sure that he can provide that extra peel for his back line.
He's almost got it, but can he get it in time? And more importantly for Trace, I feel like this game he's been a bit out of sync with that Mega Gnar. Again, you know, the last 2 fights didn't have any energy built up.
Well, he made up for it in that first fight in the Dragon Pit, though. That was some really nice timing.
Yep.
By building up that Rage Bar on the Dragon after the TP into the back of the pit ambition.
That one was good, but since then.
Looks like the poke coming in from CJ, doing a lot of work so far.
Yep. Teleport back up now for Trace. Just came up again, so he does have it in time for the Dragon fight. And here we go, CJ maybe turning around Ambition, thinking about going on to Captain Jack. Valkyrie ahead by space. Takes a decent amount of damage, but they get to chunk Captain Jack down to about half health.
Yeah, Jack's going to heal up so quickly, though, off that minion wave.
I guess so.
Does have Bloodthirster to help him out in that regard. Yep. Now, Space did use his Blade active right there, so that's one less tool he will have when this Dragon comes out. Shy will finally get that top lane turret 32 minutes into this game. And that actually swings the turret lead into CJ's favor, having taken out that tier 2 with the help of the Baron buff. Jinair waiting for that Rift Scuttler to run out right now, and it will right before this Dragon spawns.
There we go. All right, it's Dragon time.
Vision just not taking a lot of damage from GBM. GBM under-itemized this game, so he's not having that typical Xerath damage that we would see at this stage.
Whoa, Corky's damage looks just fine though. CJ coming in, Ambition trying to find an angle. There's a flash. Oh, nice Gnarl from Trace. Can they make anything happen out of it? There's Yell from GBM poking people away. Ambition getting very low. A kill for GBM onto Nami. Shy the Wayne in the back lines. That's a kill for Coco. Onto Jana. Captain Jack on the run and no protection for him as Space comes in for the kill. Trace still in the back lines, but this fight is over and CJ has taken another one. Coco with the snipe.
And this is why this Jace was banned by GE. We've seen it time and time again. Coco just picking up all the kills this game. 2/3 of his team killed. They are going to get their second dragon at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to tie things up 2-2 as far as dragons go. And
GBM just really needs a Void Staff right now. He just can't deal with the Banshee's Veil from Ambition very easily.
yeah.
And we take a look at this one again. GBM needs a big rocket right there. Does manage to dodge the second skill shot. And Trace, you know, he's going to scoop everybody forward, but Shy coming in with the teleport into the back line. And you see him save up that last shot right there, decides to use it on Mad Life, and that's the only kill Jin Air is going to get.
Yeah.
Captain Jack just can't deal with Shy. Shy way too tanky with the Frozen Heart, the Randuins right now. And this is one of the issues with this Hurricane Callista in the late game, is that your damage really isn't up there unless you're hitting multiple people with your Rend. And if Shy can zone out the back line all by himself right there, he really is going to take no damage.
Well, that's the question, you know, how do you get things kind of tied up enough for Captain Jack to get close enough to start hitting with that Runin's Hurricane?
Well, he really needs the blade right now. That is the item that needs to be completed, but he's a long way out.
Oh, maybe a pick on Ambition? No, not quite. Ambition getting out with the QE combo.
Void Staff done on Xerath. This is a big change from what we saw earlier. Coco trying to pick up some more items right now. We'll see what he builds into next, but there's going to be a time in this game where Coco caps out, and when GBM catches up, they are going to be doing comparable damage. We don't see a lot of MR built so far.
I feel like right now Jin Air just needs to not get desperate. You know, it feels like a desperate time for the Jin Air Green Wings at the moment, but if they can stay calm, they can still certainly win this one.
Absolutely. As we go later into this game, they will find that, especially on 6 items, that they will be extremely strong against CJ. And there's not really a big timer on this game at the moment either. CJ only has 2 dragons right now, 2 per team. So the dragon, that 5-stack, you know, minimum like 12 minutes out, or the 4-stack at minimum 12 minutes out at this point, pretty much, as soon as that next dragon spawns. And that's a long time for some of these itemized people on the Jin Air Green Wings to farm up and make it work.
Yeah. Well, CJ has managed to get Baron control back. They could go, oh, they are going for their second Baron. Another little bit risky Baron as Jin Air is right there. Mad Life with the Aqua Prison onto Chaser. CJ may need to turn this one around. In fact, they will. Here we go. Captain Jack, though, against the wall. Shy getting in the back lines already with Chaser. Tidal Wave comes through. GBM on the back, though. Can he do enough damage with this Void Staff? Misses Space, and there's a kill, though, for Captain Jack. Jin Air has managed to keep things just safe enough. Trace marching towards CJ, but they're going to turn it around. So in the end, no one able to claim that Baron, but Ambition going down.
Well, I really think CJ should have re-engaged there, Doa, and the reason why is because we saw Captain Jack trigger his Rend on just a single target on Ambition. So with that cooldown, I think there was an opportunity there for a bit of an instant turnaround onto Captain Jack. Instead, they get a bit scared and will abandon that Baron attempt.
Oops. Nope, I think Captain Jack still got it.
Captain Jack did still get the Raptors, and
the big Raptor.
It's enough vision to keep Jin Air in that one. Jack, you can see how much damage he's doing with that Rend. Blade finished. Okay, another big moment for Jin Air, and we still don't see the Bloodthirster or the Infinity Edge, whatever it's going to be. Probably, I would say he should get the Infinity Edge. Space, that is, just to try and build in a little more crit.
That's been the trend lately with the Corkies, is to get the Infinity Edge when the game gets to about this point. Wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. It's like you're saying, though. Jin Air is on their way to outlasting CJ.
And Trace deciding that the AP threat not even big enough from this Corki to justify getting an MR item. So he's going to be going for, well, we'll see. It could technically be a Zerat Portal or a GA. Don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a Sunfire because he just wants to stack HP as a counter to the AP damage.
I'd love to see the Zerat's Portal, though.
Oh, I think we will see that item someday, but
maybe someday.
Maybe not today.
Yeah. We saw Zeke's Herald the other day. That was something.
I love the fact that we're seeing these Captain Enchants too with the Callista Janna pairing. It's so fun.
Makes sense, yeah.
To see the increased dash range as a result of that little boot enchantment coming in on Janna.
Yeah, it's interesting.
A lot of dashing so far, even with the Frozen Heart, tons of attack speed on Jack between that Hurricane and the Blade of the Ruined King, so he'll be extremely difficult to hit.
Shut up now. All right, Jin Air. Mad Life just went back. They've got the vision back over Baron right now. And they're going to try to bait something, it looks like. GBM, nice poke onto Coco there. Although, Coco, it's pretty durable. He's even got the Black Cleaver now. Wow.
Yeah, the fact that that poke is doing such a small amount of damage is really concerning for GBM.
He really needs his death cap at this point.
Yeah, he always is just that one item behind.
Yeah,
and so trading poke has been very difficult for Jin Air. As a result, CJ has been able to bully off these objectives simply because of the poke difference between Coco and GBM in this game.
And it looks like Space is just going to solo the Dragon possibly right now. It's happening down on the bottom there. We're not going to click on it, though, because that's boring. There we go. See? So that's the third Dragon now for CJ. Occupying Jin Air around the Baron pit while Space just takes that objective himself.
And Jin Air, even if they had known that Corki was there, really couldn't have done anything to force. I think that was a great play call from CJ. There's no real engage on Jin Air. They're very reliant on their enemy engaging into them unless Chaser gets a very good angle on somebody. Trace, of course, typically used more for that follow-up engage than anything else.
Makes sense.
Need somebody to set up for the Gnar. Gnar going in first doesn't have a very high chance of succeeding. It's pretty easy to see that one coming in and react for CJ.
Yep.
So without the engage, they couldn't actually force a fight in a 4v5. Well, Space was on the other side of the map. And so now, trying to get that control again. Those Sentinels, very helpful leading the charge just to clear out some vision.
Yeah, Trace is Mega Gnar for a little while. But so far, a little bit of a lull in the action.
So GA or Zerat Portal, though, what's it going to be? Because it's going to be one of the two on to Trace.
Probably going to be GA. Although when your GA pops, you lose Mega Gnar, right? I believe that just instantly goes away.
I actually don't know the answer to that.
I'm pretty sure. So maybe Zerat's Portal wouldn't be bad.
Well,
it gives you a lot of defensive stats either way.
It also would keep Shy or keep a split pusher occupied for a certain amount of time, and during the moments when Shy doesn't have TP up, that could actually be a big pressure difference if they want to just play the map.
I like the Portal better. I agree. Thornmail picked up for Chaser as well, too. We'll see, though, what Trace decides to buy. Farming down to that bot lane right now, teleports up. No ambition, thinking about coming in. Can't quite get a good angle for the Cataclysm. CJ just trying to get a bit more control over the Baron area.
Even one or two of those Ren stacks is doing a lot of damage to Ambition at the moment.
Yep.
Ambition did go for the Veil early on, so he does have a little bit less armor. But
oh, they're doing the Baron right now. CJ.
Okay.
Wow, they're starting it.
It's GA. It's GA for Trace. He has it up right now, but they've got to do something about this. And GBM and
oh boy.
They're doing it very slowly, though, because there are only two people on it at the moment.
Yeah, they had to back away. Trace just walks up, didn't have to use that teleport either. And Jin Air manages to push CJ off of the Baron. They're going to rotate mid now, it looks like.
Slow push coming in, it looks like in favor of Jin Air in the bottom lane. So eventually somebody from CJ will have to go manage that wave.
The top lane looking good for CJ, though. Well, maybe not. That may actually push out towards Jin Air's favor again, too.
It's been a really good game so far.
Yeah.
Each team being very active about playing the map and trying to get an advantage.
Definitely. Oh, nice shot glass onto Che. That may be the signal for CJ. Did they see the damage that they were able to do to Che, though?
Well, they can't engage on him because he's Janna, so
Yeah.
the follow-up, they just have to continue poking.
Or they just have to do Baron. Here we go. CJ gonna try to do it. Trace behind the Baron pit right now. Chaser rather. Firing some Qs in. Trace is trying to build up the Meganar. Shy goes in. There's some damage from GBM, not doing a lot to Shy. Aqua Prison locks up Trace. He's about to get Meganar. He's very close. Like one more boomerang will do it.
Just waiting this one out right now,
Yep.
trying to delay it as long as possible. CJ playing this well. They just want to keep forcing the objective.
Yeah.
Shy is recalling, needs mana, but his TP is up.
They get so much heal from Mad Life right now, too, that the poke from GBM just is not doing a lot.
Yeah, CJ really playing this out well.
Yeah.
They just need to continue to force the poke down, and then eventually they can engage.
Shy's not there. He can teleport. He will teleport in. He's going to teleport right on top of Jin Air, though. That'll give him a good angle to get in the back lines, and that's exactly what he'll do. Captain Jack kiting backwards. Ambition can't get him in the Cataclysm, taking a lot of damage. Trace, though, getting blown up. Kills on both sides, though. Trace coming back with the GA. Shy taking a lot of damage. GBM had to be careful, had to back away. Che backing off as well. Captain Jack had a good angle, but with no peel, he has to back away.
All right, but
they're just going to go for
Trace
it.
has TP. They can rush up the mid lane right now. CJ has to go back to defend.
Yes, they do.
Shy
There's a recalls.
is very low on HP. They're going to take the tower. They can get the
Ooh.
Baron afterwards. Jin Air,
So
great
smart.
rotation.
Oh, man.
2 members back.
Space
Coco
and
and
Coco's
Space
still
still
there.
there. Now, can they make a play? Can they get the engage?
That's going to be a lot of poke, as we've seen before. Baron going
This is
down
so
really
risky,
fast. Can
actually,
Jin Air
now.
secure it? Yeah,
They
Trace
want to
trying
go
to zone.
after. They need to
boy.
get these carries. They're trying to just all in this right now. GBM finally there, trying to lay down some CC on the side. Shy is full HP. Coco goes
getting
down.
low. He does indeed. Jin Air has to back off of the Baron, though. A kill for GBM comes in onto Coco. Like we just mentioned, Captain Jack doing a lot of damage to
has
Shy.
so many Ren stacks on
Whoa,
him right
Chaser
now.
goes deep and gets himself killed. Is it enough? Can they take down Shy? And Aqua Prison means a kill onto Captain Jack. And CJ turning this one around. Trace on the run.
Jack got really
It was way
greedy.
too risky.
Jack got really greedy right there. He died before he triggered the Ren stacks, it looked like.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
And so he was trying to stack it up, but got nuked in the end. Space coming into help. Let's take a look at this one again. I mean, right here, Trace just keeps trying to zone them out, but Space and Coco lay down damage this entire time. Baron does get quite low right there, but they decide to turn at the end when Shy comes in. GBM putting some damage down over the wall. Now look how many spears are in Shy. You have to trigger that. Otherwise you get into a situation, yet he face checks the brush.
Wow. Oh, Captain Jack.
I think he thought Space was already back, was too low in order to make that, but as soon as Chaser followed up on the Q, Jack face checked the brush to get the vision onto Shy. And
Well, CJ's about to get their 4th dragon, too.
oh boy, well
Yeah,
CJ
this one's starting to kind of
CJ definitely played that really nicely, all things considered. They did delay that Baron. Jin Air a little bit confused about the team fight happening afterwards, and I think that had Captain Jack just simply triggered those Ren stacks, they may have been able to turn back to Baron. Remember that Shy didn't have teleport up, so I think that they should have just triggered the Ren stacks and then turned back onto the Baron immediately.
Yeah.
Instead, they got really greedy for the kill onto Maokai, and that resulted in Space getting some free damage on a rather silly face check by Jack.
Well, Shy is the MVP of this game, in my opinion, so far. I mean, yeah, there's been some great poke from Coco, but Shy's been the one right from the beginning to get into the back lines and really prevent Captain Jack and GBM from doing much of anything.
GBM has double Void Staff.
Ooh, that doesn't help. Oh, GBM.
Well,
He's got Death Cap too, at least.
I wonder what the logic behind that is.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's stats. I mean, it's AP anyway.
yeah, it's...
Would you get that over an Athene's? Would you get that over a Abyssal Scepter? I mean, I guess Abyssal's not too much of a high priority here, but
Yeah, Abyssal's not going to be the high priority at the
Yeah.
moment. The thing
trying to
is,
think of any other buys.
the Magic Pen is a unique passive on that, so it's just straight up giving him AP. I mean,
it's relatively inexpensive AP as far as the bigger items go. But
I think that's just a mistake, honestly.
yeah, it could be. I mean, Mad Life too, all the healing coming in is just really doing work against the poke from GBM especially, and there's not really any poke coming in from Captain Jack so much. Here we are at 48 minutes though. And if Jinair can win a big team fight, they can turn things around. But Shy is just so big, man, and I'm not talking about just the Iron Elixir here. He is nearly unkillable at this point.
Trying to move forward right now.
Yeah.
But CJ continues to hold this Baron in much the same way they have this entire game so far.
Yeah.
They get very difficult. Here comes
Here
the
we go.
engage.
That's right. Trying to come in, they popped the Talisman on Mad Life, but they weren't able to catch anybody with that. Trace is almost Mega Gnar here. Decent poke onto Mad Life. That'll get healed up in a heartbeat.
Just a lot of poking right now. Very tense situation.
They can wait out the Mega Gnar here too, and that's going to make it hard for Jinair to contest this Baron. I think that CJ may be about to start.
You know, at this point, I honestly wonder whether Rylai's would have been a better pickup for GBM.
Oh, Captain Jack! They hit the brush. And here we go, CJ trying to engage against Shy, taking a lot of damage, getting knocked up though. Can they take him down? Down to about half health. Trace building up that energy again for the Mega Gnar.
Yeah, both tanks very low after that engagement, and now Jinair has the minion wave in the mid lane that will push CJ back, but a large wave developed in the bottom side. Trace will have his TP up soon, so he's going to go back and deal with it.
Captain Jack, Jinair a little bit separated. There's a knockup. GBM has to flash. Che uses his ult, and that may give CJ the Baron right there.
What happened right there? It looked like there was a weird interaction, a glitch, because Cataclysm looked like the animation started.
Yeah, I have no idea
but then it didn't complete, so now Ambition still has it up, even though the flash came in.
Well, either way, CJ going to grab this Baron without any trouble, it looks like. There it is, Baron for CJ. And Jinair just getting a little bit out of position. Captain Jack separated from the rest of the team, and GBM nearly killed. And now CJ with 4 dragons in their second Baron. Oh boy.
Shy, absolutely massive right now, and doing a great job of zoning out the backline. Trace has a Zeal. I wonder if he's trying to build that into Trinity Force, or whether he wants to go for a static shiv to give increased wave clear. That's an interesting question.
Do they really need the wave clear at this point? I suppose if they send him into a solo lane to push something back, it would help, but
would provide a little bit more split pushing.
Yeah.
His GA active, or passive rather, is back up now.
Makes sense.
Now, Jinair trying to hold on to their last remaining tier 2 turret in a very close game.
Yeah, no kidding. This thing is still, you know, it's in favor of CJ right now, but Jinair could win this. 51 minutes and no inhibitors taken yet. This is the match we were thinking we'd see. These teams are pretty even right now.
Yeah, very good patience from both sides. Only minor mistakes made so far in this game.
I kind of thought this was what we would have seen last night too, but last night ended up being much more one-sided. All right, here we go. Or not.
Well, and you know, thing is that Coco's been capped out in terms of his damage for quite some time. Hit that 6-item threshold pretty early on.
Yes, he did.
So
GBM, once he sells one of those Void Staffs, may be able to get a little bit more damage himself.
It's possible that that's all the money GBM had, and so he
That could be, yeah.
wanted to build it. But just in terms of the slow being useful right now, Rylai's would be nice.
I agree. GBM getting poked pretty hard, and there goes the turret.
Even a Leandries would have been pretty good right now, just to deal with Shy, start burning him down. And you get the magic pen off of that as well. So yeah, I actually think Leandry's probably the best item.
Well, we'll see if he goes back and switches it for anything else. Chaser going in onto Ambition. They can't quite catch a Chaser with that Iron Elixir as well. Giant Lee Sin.
Giant Lee, Giant Maokai, and here's the moment of truth. Dragon is live.
Yeah, this could be the 5th dragon
Baron
for
and
CJ.
5 stacks could be. I mean, this is it.
Oh, Trace coming in. He does not have Mega Gnar quite yet. Shy getting the back lines. There's a Cataclysm. They lock up Che. quite a bit. Tidal Wave comes through, doesn't really hit anybody, but Shy in the back lines, now 1v5, gets taken out. Can Jinair turn this around? A nice out from Tay. There's a double kill coming in from Captain Jack. Coco forced away, and there we go. GBM and the rest of Jinair coming in. They deny the 5th dragon. They will take their 3rd dragon out of this.
Captain Jack was the hero of that fight. He grabbed Che at like sub 100 HP, tossed him into the back, and then so Che was able to use the Monsoon to heal the back line and heal himself up right there. Not to mention getting 2 of those kills. Trace also with the great follow-up, but they burned a lot of cooldowns to try and kill the Janna. What a beautiful team fight from Jinair.
Definitely, and that's kind of the fight that Jinair's been trying to make happen the entire time. I was a little bit worried for them at the beginning. You know, Trace he was not close to Meganar at all when that fight started.
Wow, Jack though, last second grab with that ultimate to save.
He's attacking so fast now. He's got that Mercurial as well. And here we go. Can Jinair make something out of this? Still some time.
Very critical moment. They're going to get the inhibitor.
They will get it. They need to get out of there fast.
Turning this one around. This game has been so exciting, Doa.
No kidding. One of the best games we've had all season, hands down.
Yeah, very low kill count, but it hasn't been for a lack of action. A lot of poke going down. Let's take a look at this one again.
Now watch Che at the top of your screen.
GBM dealing some damage. Look how low Che gets.
Oh man.
Shoots himself back up, and Jinair controls the choke. Shy can't get back there to finish the kill. And then he gets knocked right back in. Captain Jack finally gets some stack triggers. Oh, space. Moving forward, a bit unfortunate right there, has to Valk out immediately.
Wow.
So there's no real follow-up poke possible because he has no more movement abilities. That was a little bit over-aggressive from space right there, too.
You know, Che even waited until Shy tried to use his Twisted Advance to come in and then pop the ult to knock him back.
There's the Rylai's. All right.
Okay,
so
he did switch it over.
Did switch it out, so they really want to be able to kite this one out and kill Shy. So for Jinair right now, they've pretty much committed to making sure that their backline remains untouched. And the thing is that Jack is the one doing most of the damage right now, and the Rylai's will help him out so much in terms of reliably getting those Ren stacks up.
And in terms of backing up as well if he's under pressure.
So really, it's all down to Jack right now. Since you bought the Rylai's, you don't have the Leandries. It's up to Jack. Jack has to make it work. Everybody else is about providing crowd control for Jack. GBM has sacrificed damage to that end. Ambition
is
not
way far away.
Well, he needed to clear out the minion wave. Not sure he was the best choice for that, but he's the designated one. And Ambition actually going to cancel his recall right there as he doesn't see the dive coming in. And that, I think, is going to be the better choice because CJ really needs to make sure that massive minion wave didn't hit their bottom turret.
Only about a minute until Baron comes back again. And if Jinair can secure that, they'll be in pretty good shape, but this game is still so close.
And the other nice thing about Callista, in the late game, when you start hitting 6 items, she can provide vision.
Yeah.
Nobody else has a lot of room for wards.
It's a really good point.
Except for the support, so you get that little bit of a utility advantage with Callista in the ultra late game as well. Makes it a lot safer.
All right, recalls coming in, Jinair wanting to get prepared for that Baron. And they will. It's looking across, seeing what people are buying right now. Doesn't look like Chaser had enough to pick anything else up. Does have that Giant's Belt on top of his other items, so he's got a little bit more survivability.
And CJ right now, at this point in the game, that single damage type, they really only have magic damage coming off of Shy and Space at this point, makes those Thorn Mails have such a high value for Jinair. Got one right now on the Chaser as well.
Now Che has a Giant's Belt as well too.
I think that was really an intelligent buy.
I agree. I would love to see him turn into a Rylai's. Yeah. That slowing Whirlwind, man. It's so good. Although it is AoE, so you only get the 15% slow, but still. W gets a full 35.
I think you should just get a Randuin's.
Yeah, that's a more logical choice. 3 Randuin's would make it so easy for Captain Jack to bounce around and destroy people. There's Meganar. Can Jinair catch anyone? CJ a bit split up. Oh, if they can catch Shy, can they do it? Now kicked away by Chaser for now.
That was a weird use of the
I know. I was going to say, I think he wanted to kick him the other direction. That would have been a dead Maokai if they would have been able to get that. Huh.
So now they're going to have to wait, actually, for the Gnarl to come back up before they can fight. Just control the mid lane, keep those super minions pushing forward. and force this choice. Minute 20 again. That Shy. Okay.
Oh.
Ambition. They're in the back-to-back. I didn't see him.
Wow. Now GBM's starting to get some decent poke in. It's happening.
So Jin Air just wants those super minions to keep moving forward, but those minions are not going to last long.
Yep. That inhibitor is getting close to getting up again.
It's really about this dragon right here. This is a really weird situation. Yeah. CJ has done a great job of lengthening this time because they want to force the decision, because either way, it's going to be in their advantage because Jin Air is still sitting on 3 stacks. So Jin Air are going to try and force the issue with this Baron. Of course, with that Callista, they have a lot of spike damage right at the end.
Trace very close to Meganar, too. He's in a good position for this. Baron going down relatively slowly, all things considered, though.
It's going to heal up right there. They couldn't quite force it.
Yep. All right.
Got a lot of HP this late in the game.
Well, now they have to be careful. Inhibitor's responding soon for CJ.
15 seconds.
Yep.
Either way, CJ can trade this favorably. So they've gotten themselves to a point.
Here we go. They're doing it. Baron being taken by Jin Air. Inhibitor's back for CJ now. Teleport coming in from behind. Shy trying to flank. Aqua Prism misses. Shy gets into the back lines onto Captain Jack immediately. Tidal Wave comes through. GBM backing away. Where is Captain Jack? He's doing so much damage. Shy getting low. He needs to back away in space. Starting to get poked out. Oh, Captain Jack nearly doing some damage. Great ult coming in. And the damage from Captain Jack and GBM forcing CJ to retreat. Trace coming in with Nar now. They tossed Che ahead as well, and they can turn onto this Baron. They still need to be careful, though. CJ has enough to take that 5th dragon, and they're going to do it. Does Jin Air really want to make this happen?
Yeah, they want to make this trade. It looks like they're happy with the 5 dragon stacks. It's not going to get onto all members of CJ, and they've got some time.
Well, they're only going to be missing it on Shy. How will this work out? Baron on Jin Air, 5th dragon onto CJ now.
Coco takes the blue buff as well. Now, I think CJ was a little eager to engage. Now, they saw that Trace didn't have any rage, which is why they really wanted that fight. It was about as good as it was going to get. And that is a big mini Nar.
Yes, it is. A mega mini Nar, and soon we'll have mega Nar.
Okay, so let's take a look at this again. Shy gets into the back lines. They do get the follow-up engage. Good tidal wave, actually knocking up GBM. GBM taken out of this fight in terms of damage for a long time.
Captain Jack
has like a million Ren Spears into Shy as that goes forward. And now Trace gets the ult. Then they're able to follow up onto Shy. Ambition gets out of there at the last possible second with the flash. Now we see some more cleanup coming in. Inhibitor back up, however. Jin Air does have 5 people with buffs, but CJ with the 5 dragon stack. This is such a weird situation we're in right now in this game.
We've just reached over an hour now. Both teams over 90,000 gold. Game of the season so far. Both 80 carries over 500 CS.
Yeah, very close game.
Yep.
Still
giant ambition. Everybody's getting big with those iron elixirs.
I mean, we're getting to the point where even our junglers are 6-item builds. It's
crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what Shay's able to turn that Giants belt into. I think you're probably right that it'll be another Randuin's. Coco, though, you know, really plateauing as far as damage, and I think, like you mentioned earlier, that's going to be a big deal. It has been a big deal.
Well, the thing about Jace, though, is, he offers great damage, but, you know, what wins late-game team fights is crowd control.
Yep.
And you have to give the crowd control advantage to Jin Air, just because Xerath able to lay down slows and stuns from long range.
Yeah.
And you have, of course, the Gnarl, too, which is game-changing in and of itself.
All right, well.
Shy is taking a lot of damage from GBM, actually.
He's got to be careful. Yeah, GBM starting to hit hard, even against Shy. Captain Jack still with really great wave clear. Jin Air splitting up a bit, seeing if they can maybe find a pick, but not quite yet. Coco pushing up the top lane.
Interesting. So CJ deciding they want to split push.
Oh, Coco can certainly escape with that acceleration game.
Yeah, feeling that he can provide biggest dueling threat right there, and it's hard to argue with that. Jason, excellent duelist.
3 scrying orbs on the side of CJ now. Just no more room for wards.
That is so smart, actually.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and I've talked about this before, but there is sort of a rock, paper, scissors to trinkets, especially in the late game, where if you have a bunch of sweepers, but nobody has any inventory space for wards, those sweepers are not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, when you start seeing the team, if you see the enemy team have a bunch of sweepers, it's great to stack those scrying orbs.
Yeah.
But
oh, here we go. The engage coming in with the talisman, trying to go into a chase there. GBM gets trapped in the cataclysm.
Chasers
a lot
in the
of
bottom
damage
lane.
though. Shay with decent healing, and Trace comes in from behind GBM with the ult, manages to pick off Ambition. And Jin Air starting to push this one back now. Wow, GBM was in the cataclysm, but he just turned and blew Ambition up.
And that right there was as good as it's going to get. That was a
think so.
5v4 for CJ. We did see Chaser in the bottom lane. Now they're going to be able to charge straight down the lane and get this inhibitor again. CJ's taking the right engages. I really do feel like they're making the right choices here in both of the last 2 team fights. It's just a matter that Jin Air is outscaling them now,
well,
and there's not much they can do.
Yeah, Jin Air has stayed calm. They've outlasted them. It's not over yet, but Jin Air poised to possibly push this one in their favor yet again. There goes the inhibitor. Captain Jack just killing it so fast. Coco coming in, but again, no threat of CC. Captain Jack takes out the inhibitor without any issues.
And Jin Air looking for their 4th dragon in a minute and a half.
Yep.
See them try and sweep through the jungle and get what they can.
Well, when you get both teams that both have that 5 dragon pressure, it's really insane.
This may be actually the game with the most dragons in it that we've actually seen so far this season. I'm not sure but it's very rare to have both teams on 4 dragons sitting there waiting for the 5 dragon buff.
CJ recalling now. Yep. Thought they might be able to just wait in the brush, but no, they'll go back.
Oh, so what I was saying about the scrying orbs. So when you see the enemy team start to stack scrying orbs, then you should switch back to ward totems on the other side so you have permanent vision while they're relying on just these little windows of time to get it up.
Right.
So there's this really weird cycle. Now, in practice, obviously, it's very difficult to do this because of the trinket cooldowns that happen once you switch over.
Yeah.
So, but it is possible to do this kind of stuff. Jack and Coco, as we can see right there, pretty much capped out in terms of what they're able to buy.
Yeah, both fairly even in total gold this game, too, floating around 24,000. That's Sentinel, though. What great utility out of Callista in this ultra late game. Dragon in 20 seconds. Oh boy. Trace, Mega Mini, Guardian Angel, Gnar.
Clearing a Banshee's Veil right there with the Lee Sin Q.
Works well.
Hey, look at this, Xerath with a Captain's Enchantment too. That's actually very smart of GBM. Just more kiting. Yeah, more kiting, which is all they need to do.
Oh boy. Here we go, Dragon's up. CJ wants that 5th buff again. Trace, almost Mega Gnar. Shy pops his ultimate. There's Mega Gnar. It's the standoff. Who's going to take it? 2 teams. It's 65 minutes. Pretty much max
minion
builds.
wave on the top side. Jin Air can wait this one out, though. They don't have to engage. They want to kite. They want to peel. They can wait for the next Mega Gnar. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But there we go. CJ may just start onto this dragon right now and see if they can force the issue. But they may lose their top inhibitor.
Oh, here we go. Shy goes in, gets knocked up by the whirlwind. They're going to blow him up. He's going to get low. Tidal wave comes through, but no re-engage. There's a kill immediately, though. Coming in for CJ. They got the dragon. Oh, and there they pop the GA for Shy. Okay, that's one cooldown down. Captain Jack comes in, gets bursted, though.
And
they have to
has
be careful
Jin Air
here.
delayed enough.
Over the wall comes Ambition with the Cataclysm. Needs to counter it immediately. Cancel it, rather.
Okay, there's a tower going down, though.
Oh, they're going to get the inhibitor turret.
Yep, there
maybe.
Oh, that is so close.
They get it.
They get it. And meanwhile, CJ's still on the run. Recalls have been delayed. Baron up. Now CJ has to go deal with this. We could see an instant Baron.
Well, it's going to be another 5 Dragon CJ against a Baron Jin Air, it looks like. Trace really low. There's a heal coming in from
They need to
Jay.
back off. He should have gone back and TP'd.
Teleport for Shy.
Okay, so CJ still doing this, but they're going to lose their inhibitor, actually, in the top side.
I think so, but they may gain the Baron. And if they have Baron and 5 Dragons, can Jin Air fight this?
Trace is recalling. He still has his teleport up. This is a bit of a desperation move here from CJ. Here we go.
Teleport coming in for Trace. Not a lot of energy here. Shy, they get the knock-up and ambition. Trace coming in, there's a Meganar. Shy getting really low. Shy going back in, ults away. Tidal Wave comes through. Captain Jack doing so much damage to CJ. There's a kill for GBM. Baron still alive. Jin Air has prevented it. Minion waves pushing in. They're onto the Nexus turrets now, and there's just too much pressure. There goes the inhibitor, and Jin Air, I think they've got this one.
Yeah, they may lose another inhibitor turret as well. Looks like they will. Just massive minion waves crashing into the towers. The side wave manipulation from Jin Air has really worked out.
What
and
a game.
Space gonna try and steal, can't do it. The Rend too much, secures it all too easily, and they've got one inhibitor left, CJ.
Right.
Even with the 5 dragon stacks, they couldn't actually win that fight. Over at the Baron, Shy goes down once again, and Trace still has his GA up, actually. Meanwhile, Shy's is down. Let's take a look at this again.
Nobody's stopping Captain Jack.
GBM right in the choke, raining down that damage.
Yeah.
And Jack right here, the Hurricane just doing so much work.
Yeah.
CJ can have those double stats, but Jack's still the one putting out the more damage onto the front line just through sheer number of targets that he can hit simultaneously with the Hurricane.
It's really cool, and it's really incredible, too, that we can see such wildly different Callista builds work so well.
It's good.
Very neat.
And there's Jack. They want this last tower. They have the Baron-empowered minions.
Yep.
Dragon buff still up, though, for CJ, so caution would be warranted. Meanwhile, mid-inhibitor has respawned.
Well, Jin Air really is under no pressure right now. They can wait out this 5th dragon stack. They just need to keep doing what they've done all game long and just play it safe.
It's going to be really fun to see champion damage at the end of this game.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking forward to.
No kidding. Captain Jack, he's got to be over 100,000 now. Maybe close.
Let's see. Jin Air just waiting for that minion wave up at the top side. Somebody's going to have to go back. Somebody's going to get poked.
Indeed. Oh, they're poking Shy. Poking anyone they can get their poke onto. This is the final inhibitor. This is the last line of defense for CJ right now. Super minions coming in from other sides. The mid.
Yeah, somebody needs to go deal with this.
Mid's respawn though. Mid inhibitor is back.
It is back up, and it is pushing out, fortunately for Jin Air, but that could be reversed very quickly if
CJ,
they're going to go for it.
I guess so. Coco away, and they're going to get the inhibitor. They can just rotate back to mid, and Coco having to go back to defend. It doesn't seem like there's a lot CJ can do to keep Jin Air from taking these inhibitors. Yeah, look at that. Baron buff almost back. And that inhibitor, Captain Jack playing it so safely, and he needs to. Again, they just need to be safe. That's all.
The single damage type has hurt CJ so much this game.
Yep.
It's been simple for Jin Air to itemize against them to eventually overcome that early game deficit.
There it goes.
Okay.
3rd inhibitor down. Right as that Baron buff is about to run out for Jin Air. Not a lot of time left on that one.
Very smart. Pull back now. You've got Dragon in a minute and a half. They have to deal with so many super minions. Make sure you win this one, because if you lose it now, you are going to look very foolish.
Or you'll look like Jin Air has looked in a few other games this season. That's the scary part. They're like, we have to kill all 3 inhibitors so that one of them doesn't randomly respawn right when we're about to kill the Nexus.
Exactly. Well,
yeah. And again, Jin Air really can just play this at a relaxed pace. There's really no stress on Jin Air to end here.
They own the map.
Yep, they do.
They're in control of this one. They should be good to go with enough patience. And, Jin Air has really not slipped up in terms of playing matches patiently this season. So that is something that I think it's unlikely for them to do. They're really a team that doesn't show a lot of cockiness or a lot of ego when it comes to closing these matches.
The other thing, too, is the only person in this game right now that's been able to ever make a comeback with 3 inhibitors down is Captain Jack. And so that means CJ's not going to be able to do what they did before. Captain Jack's not on that team anymore.
He is not.
Yep.
Well, looks like there's just going to push in the waves so that CJ is guaranteed to be defending if they want to go for this dragon. And maybe just get the poke down right now, or hope they take a lot of damage from these super minions 2 at a time.
Yep.
Waltzing in to smack on these towers.
Good poke on the Mad Life there. And Jin Air trying to deal the finishing blow now. That's 72 minutes. Can they do it? Shy comes in. This is CJ's last chance. Trying to engage. Ambition gets knocked up. Great whirlwind and all the damage coming in. GBM and Captain Jack untouched. They did kill Chaser. However, they've lost the Nexus turret. They're going to lose another one right here. Trace back to Meganar yet again. And Jinair can back off. They can actually wait until Chaser comes back.
Yeah, another inhibitor respawning, though. They are going to go for the dragon instead.
Yep, smart. They're going to get that 5th dragon stack now, I believe. Or is that their 4th now? I can't.
4th. It will
it's going to be their 4th. Okay. A lot of dragons in this game. There we go.
It's actually important, though, for them to get this 4th dragon to finish the game, just so they have that extra bit of pressure onto the last remaining building. Yeah. CJ is down to an inhibitor and a Nexus right now, and that is it. You have to admire CJ, though. They really did hold out pretty darn well. This game has been very exciting.
Absolutely, man. Over 220,000 gold earned in this game.
Jeez. I mean, this is approaching the longest game, I think, so far this season. It already is the longest game in Korea. I wonder if it is internationally as well.
In Season 5? Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. Yeah, certainly. Is this actually the longest game we've ever had as champions? I believe it is.
No.
How much longer, though? It's got to be getting close.
Maybe another 10 minutes would be my guess.
Yeah, I want to say like mid-80 was the longest. I don't think this one's going to quite get there.
No, I don't think so either. Not unless it's a miracle win by CJ here.
Yeah, I mean, Jinair, I think they may want to just wait for this Baron, too. We'll see.
That would be the smart thing to do, I feel.
Yeah.
Put some pressure on the inhibitor while you can. See if you can get number 3 one more time.
That Giant Spell turned into a Warmogs by Che, actually.
Oh, yeah, not bad. Of course, since he hasn't been getting consistently poked, that HP regen will really help him.
Definitely.
Survive from poke to poke right there.
Jack getting a little bit bold here.
Actually, I actually really agree with that. I think that's the best possible item he could have gotten.
Pretty cool. CJ, another last chance for them. Ooh, GBM taking a lot of poke from Poco. They have to be careful. Here they go. Coming in with the Talisman. Trace, he's going to be Meganar in just a second here. The engage did not work. CJ having to turn it around. Super Minions coming into the base again. They do. They can't really fight this. And Jinair, intelligently, they're just going to turn and take that Baron. That's the right move.
Definitely the right call. Yeah.
Really, really playing it safe. And it's not excessive at all.
No, it's not. No. You really want to win this game after how long and how exhausting this game 1 has been.
Yeah.
So just go take the safe route.
There we go.
Get that Baron, head back. Get some more elixirs.
Everybody buy Iron Elixirs. That's the way to do it. You want to beat them with the giant team. That's what I say.
Too funny.
Maximum survivability, maximum size, and maximum maneuverability, too.
Jeez, look at all these players that are totally capped out in terms of what they can do. GBM and Space still not dying this game. Very impressive.
Yep. All right. Here we go. And the funny thing is only 21 kills total in 75 minutes. It's been a very strategic game. Well, even I've enjoyed it.
This is what happens when you get 2 poke comps going at each other. You know, it's a lot of dancing around objectives. Who can force the other one off? It does take some time, some skill shots to land.
You don't see a lot of games where both junglers are over 200 CS.
GBM did get the Leandries. Yeah. He sold his Rylai's.
Oh, okay. A little bit more burn, making his, I mean, they don't really need the slows, I suppose. Not as much.
Well, they have 2 Randuins in the front line, so maybe at this stage it would be a little bit excessive.
And again, you've still got Janna pushing people back if there's the engagement. Looks like CJ not engaging quite yet.
This is good for CJ, though. No more super minion pressure with all 3 inhibitors up at the moment. So
crazy enough.
They actually may be able to hold this, considering there's no... Oh, that was a big poke onto Space.
It certainly was. The heals, though, from Mad Life starting to get pretty serious. Trace, almost Meganar yet again. With your Meganar report. Shy coming in. Meganar popped right away, though. Shy getting blown up really quickly. Oh, they got him in the Cataclysm, though. Trace pops the ultimate. Shay with the heal. Captain Jack doing a lot of damage again. They push CJ back. Shy has to heal with that Guardians. Comes back to life. Che gets popped up with the Aqua Prison, though. CJ pushes Jin Air back just barely, and the game continues. We may be on track for the longest game, and now Jin Air should just wait for that 5th dragon.
Yeah, they still have the map control, but those waves no longer providing as much pressure,
man, if
as
Jin
they
Air
once did.
If Jin Air loses this, I don't know, man. What a heartbreaker. They seem to have a...
I don't know. I mean, they were down this game for most of this game. The fact that they're actually in a position to win right now is somewhat surprising in and of itself.
Still, though, you start to get worried at this point for Jin Air.
Yeah, they managed to drag this out so long when Coco had that big lead on GBM.
True enough. Coco in space with over 700 CS. I mean, that's what happens when you spend 20 minutes just sitting in your base defending.
I think we're getting close to a CS record right now, actually.
I think so, too.
722 may, in fact, be the new record.
For CS in a competitive game?
For CS in a competitive game.
Well, Twitter, time to do some research. Let us know. Man. Hashtag Korea big CS scores. Oh, Mad Life. Oh, did he get poked? Oh, there's the kick from Chaser, gets away. Oh, they killed Mad Life. They killed him. It's a 5v4 now.
Oh.
Dragon up in 15, and this is serious. And I think you still go for the Dragon here.
You have to.
You do.
You've got that timer. It's not a big deal. You want that double, those stacks. The Jin Air gets the double stacks for the Dragon. That is, I mean, they were winning fights when they were at the receiving end of that one, so it's going to get even worse.
Jack is going to just annihilate this Dragon. CJ, they need to make something happen even without Mad Life. Shy coming in. There we go. Knock up, not connecting with anyone. Shy getting really low, and he's going to get blown up. No Guardians. Oh, he does have the Guardians cooldown. Oh, no, he doesn't. They get him. And Coco knocked up. There's the CC. Coco tries to come back in on the Che, but goes down. Death raining in from GBM and the rest of Jin Air. And I think they've got it. They do have it. It's going to be a kill for Jin Air. There we go, Space on the run. But when it's only Space, no one on CJ can hear you scream.
Ambition back, but it's just not going to be enough right now. Mad Life up in 10, but they've lost.
Wow,
Coco.
and at about 80 minutes, 79 minutes, 48 seconds, that's the end of the game. Jin Air takes it. What a game one. What a contest of wills and of poke. But in the end, the Jin Air Green Wings coast to a victory after those picks. Wow.
Really surprising that Jin Air was able to last long enough in that game, given how much damage Coco was doing. But eventually, they pull it out. They have the superior scaling.
Yeah, and geez, at the end of that, nearly 80 minutes and only 24 kills.